Oh, that's going to be a problem if that happens. Oh, no, it's not going to be a problem, but... Oh, I don't know who that is. Hello, and welcome back to the FreeMelon Society, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Martyr, and today I am joined with Aline Habib, and I'm really happy that she could come on the show today, because Aline Habib has undergone now it's more than 90 days, right? More than 90-day juice cleanse, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, and super impressive, and I wanted to have other people on the show who have gone through these types of cleanses so that they can give you their accounts of how they felt and all those interesting details that I'm sure people who want to do juice cleanses or are interested in any kind of cleansing of this sort, they can get other opinions outside of my own.
It's so good to be here, Eli. Thank you for inviting me to the show and for being supportive of my journey and just being like an example for me too of someone who has undergone these kinds of cleanses and continues to detoxify. I see, not too many people are like even informed as to what we're doing. I certainly had to dig deep to find this kind of information in my life. I had to go through like a lot of roadblocks and just deprogramming myself to be able to kind of surrender to this process because presently, so I am on 98 days. We did the interview week. I was on 90.
Wow. Yeah. Cool. So Aline, thanks for coming on. And I guess the first thing I wanted to ask about your cleanse is why? What made you decide to go on a juice cleanse? Were you trying to recover from any sort of health ailment or annoyance or, so what is it that led you to go on this juice cleanse of such a fantastic length currently?
So I started off going into this cleanse wanting to do 40 days, which was huge for me because I had only done 7 days, 10 days. I had never done so long.
Okay.
And my mentor, Shane Sterling, who taught me about this extended juice fast, he said, well, basically keep going until you have no more waste left, until you're not releasing any more mucoid plaque, which answers your question. Why I decided was to really remove the mucoid plaque out of my system.
I see. Yeah.
Yes. I wanted to get rid of all the parasites, all of the waste, the toxins, the drugs, the alcohol, the foods, all the crap that I've been putting in my body for all these years.
Right.
I really, on an intuitive level, it just had to come out. And I didn't even know this existed. I didn't even know what mucoid plaque was before. I never heard about it.
Yeah.
So then the 40-day hit and I was like, well, I'm still releasing. What do I do? And he was like, well, just listen to yourself. What do you feel you need to do? And I said, I feel like I need to keep on going.
Right.
So I'm still releasing. It's 98 days. I can't even believe it.
Amazing.
I wasn't necessarily like overweight. I, maybe had a little belly. Like I had digestive problems.
Okay.
I always had from constipation to diarrhea. I knew I had parasites. I knew there was something wrong in me. I was very depressed, chronically depressed, kept lapsing into my addictions, kept just yo-yoing in my life with my moods and not being focused, not like my mission. I knew there was something wrong on a physiological level.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because what I'm getting from you is that it wasn't any sort of immediately life-threatening or acute condition, but you're kind of experiencing that same kind of generalized spectrum of typical life discomforts that as a society we just accept as a normal part of being a human being, right? But it's not, right? It's not. All of these little minor discomforts and, mental traumas and digestive troubles. So like these things are a result of the things that we do to ourselves and put into our bodies and the way we conduct our lives that nature kind of rebels against. And it gives us these subtle indications that things are wrong. It's just that I guess they're so normal because the eating culture and the living culture is kind of standardized. So we've just kind of slowly come to accept this as just part and parcel of living on planet Earth. So, and for all of you guys out there, I think a lot of you guys are going to recognize this and sympathize with this, because even if you're not immediately suffering from something in particular, like cancer or colitis or anything that we've classified, these types of cleanses are going to start to balance and regulate a lot of these little inconsistencies that are just not necessary if you go about doing the right steps. So that's really interesting, to hear that. And now it's funny because I know that we're in the 21st century here, and we are very accustomed to the fast and easy path. Okay. We've got our technology that gives us instant access to anything we could possibly want. We've got the supplement industry. We've got food available 24/7 at the snap of a finger. We have food delivery, on and on it goes. It's basically a culture of instant gratification. And I think one of the mistakes we make in our approach to healing that the business side of the health community has caught on to is that of this notion of instant gratification. So we want the quick pill, the quick fix, the quick herbal remedy, the quick 7-day detox, all of these types of things.
And while I'm using chicken, really all sorts of proteins work. You could swap in salmon or snapper or shrimp or pork tenderloin.
Yes.
Yeah, I know you know what I mean. I don't think it quite works like that. What is it, if juice cleansing, if sustained or prolonged juice cleansing is the difficult path or is more challenging than, the conventional 3-day cleanse or whatever, why were you able to stick with it? Right? If it's so challenging, why could you do it and a lot of other people shy away from something as lengthy as a long juice cleanse? You know what I mean?
I think it comes down to how determined you are to heal.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to my why and my fundamental reason behind doing it and sticking to it.
Okay.
A little bit like when I made the commitment to be sober, it was a life or death situation. It was, I need to make the decision and stick to it. It's just as complicated as that and also as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Once I put my mind up to something,
Right.
It's my matter, and nothing's going to deter me. Nobody waving a piece of food in my face like they like to do or telling me I should eat. Like, there's so much peer pressure.
Yeah.
People like teasing me, telling me I'm going to die. And, I just have to stay so focused, right? Because if I go to a bar, people are going to want to offer me drinks. If I walk into society where everybody eats, they're going to want me, because they don't really understand what I'm doing. So I have to be super focused and committed to my own recovery despite everything else, and know that I'm not just doing this for physical reasons. I'm doing this for my mental health. I'm doing this for my daughter. I'm doing it for serving the world in some kind of way, like in a more productive way, because I want to be a clear channel. I want to be, able to receive messages from my angels and from my divine source. Like, I feel so much more connected when I do fast and when I do detoxify myself. So that's really my why. Also connecting with other people, such as yourself, and getting into like different raw vegan communities online so that I'm not alone. Other people are juice cleansing. Other people are detoxifying. Mm-hmm. Some are doing water fast. Some are doing dry fast. Some are doing UT. Like, there's so many things going on out there. that we have to go search for if we're ready to align with those kinds of people.
Yeah.
And for me, it becomes easier. It's kind of like recovery meetings, which I found really amazing. I love the 12 steps. And at the same time, they're not necessarily healthiest people in there. And I was like, if I'm going to get sober, I don't want to be drinking coffee at like 10 o'clock at night and like puffing on my cigarette. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I want to be the healthiest sober person be. So,
right.
But like 180, and this is addict behavior still. Like I'm still an addict inside. You know what I mean? Like I'm never going to change my compulsive behaviors. So even at the beginning of COVID, I said, oh my gosh, what a wide open door for a beautiful relapse. What a beautiful opportunity for me to get really fucked up.
Yeah.
Thing inside me said, no way, you are going to take this and you're going to you're just going to do the total opposite and challenge yourself to the other extreme. Yeah. So my 3 or 4 day of juicing has saved my life. Has given me something to like focus on. Like this is my groceries. This is what I'm doing. Yeah. My it's just taken on my life, and it's a good thing.
Good. Excellent. Yeah. So you're. It's like a lot of the life changes that we make. You have to get your whys very, very straight, very, very clear. Know exactly why it is you're doing the thing, and that's going to help you stay the path, right? I think a lot of the problems with people that are jumping on cleanses of any sort is that they get onto them for very superficial reasons. Not that the superficial reasons are wrong or bad. It's just that they're not as sustainable, right? So
yes.
if your overarching goal is I want to lose 10 pounds, right? Yeah, so you jump on the juice cleanse. Within, let's say, everyone's different, but let's say you lose that 10 pounds in 2 weeks, a week and a half. So you lose your 10 pounds, so you've achieved your goal. Okay, well, then what? Well, are you really going to commit to going the 40 days or the 60 days or the 90 days? Where if you did, you would start to get real cellular detoxing and, like you mentioned before, mucoid plaque coming out of your system and get the things that are actually going to catapult you into another category of health, right? Yeah, you're not going to go there because your whys weren't straight to begin with. And I think that's really important. And so I'm glad, that you jumped onto Shane Sterling's channel. Guys out there, for you listening, if you are interested in juice cleansing or raw veganism in any way, shape, or form, you want to know what great sample meals are, how you can transition to a raw vegan diet from a cooked vegan diet, anything to do with juice cleansing and whatnot, Shane Sterling's channel, I highly recommend it. Shane's been on this channel before. I interviewed him a while ago. I think it was last year or maybe even the year before. We had a great discussion, so I can put a link below. But yeah, if you've got any other questions, Shane Sterling's site, Raw Vegan Rising, is amazing. So highly recommend that you go and check that out. Yeah, well, I know you can speak.
He's so great. And no, I was just going to add to that he's really, really great and supportive. Mm-hmm. He also does like one-on-one calls, which has helped me too. Great. It was like I had one call with him, a deep dive session, and I just knew I had to do the juice cleanse after. I understood it on a deep level. Yeah. So if anybody's looking for, coaching and mentoring, and he has his own group too, Raw Vegan Heroes online on Facebook, and we just support each other. We've become a family. We're there for each other. It's a really beautiful thing. So community is really important if we're going to embark in a journey like this. It helps a lot.
Yeah. It's so good to see, because there's so many of these educational channels popping up regarding health and wellness, like Shane's, like myself, like this channel, and it's a growing movement, which is really nice to see, because again, kind of like what I was saying before, a lot of us don't even recognize the damage that we do. Like, we don't even know that our lifestyle habits are developing things like mucoid plaque that are going to be sitting there and are literally going to be the matter, the physical matter that causes disease, right? And if you don't know, well, you can't do anything to change it, right? You can't do anything to correct that if you're just oblivious. to what your lifestyle habits are doing to your body, right, and your mind, as you were saying that you experience. Now, the other thing I wanted to ask again was a very important question for all of you guys listening out there. What do you think, in your opinion, from what you've discussed with Shane and in your own research? I'm sure checking up on juice cleansing and getting information. What is it about the juice cleanse that is in fact doing the healing? Like why is it that a juice cleanse is going to give you this healing as opposed to, I don't know, a McDonald's cleanse, right? So you know what I mean. Why is this working? Right? What's happening on the juice cleanse as far as you can tell?
So, from what I understand, is we want to give the body a break from digesting, right? In simple terms, like when we overtax the body with solid foods, a lot of fibers, too much to digest, it really can't do anything other than digest. It's like all the energy is focused on that work. So when we put liquids in, and preferably high watery fruits, organic fruits, as much as possible, I go to my local vendor here and I ask him to bring me cases. So buying by the case can be more affordable. Okay. But yeah, like when we put liquids into our body, then it has the environment to work on other areas. It has the ability to dislodge the liquids will dislodge the mucoid plaque from the intestinal tract. Right. And over time, 2 weeks into the cleanse, we also introduce psyllium husk and bentonite clay called plasma pudding. So for the first 2 weeks, it's all liquids, right? Fruit juice in the morning and lemon ginger blast in the evening. So more vegetable, parsley, cilantro, ginger mix. He has it in the video too, Shane, so he explains it better. Cool. But yeah, 2 weeks in, when the bowels start moving a little bit, we start introducing the plasma pudding, and that's what really pulls out the mucoid plaque. Okay. And a few days into that, I couldn't even believe what was coming out of me. It was almost like I had to see it to believe it. Yeah. It's unbelievable. I was so stunned. I was in shock. I was like, where was this in my body? How? So that was definitely motivation to keep on going too. So if somebody's interested in doing this and is ready to push through the first 2-3 weeks, the rest comes pretty easy, I would say even after 4 days, you don't even want to eat anymore because you're getting nourished. You're getting more nourished than if you were to eat, a regular food diet. I'm eating more calories this way than I ever would, 3,000 to 4,000 a day. And I'm weight. Yeah, it's a lot. I drink 6 of these a day, right. 4 to 6, depending on the day. But when I'm really thirsty or sweating a lot, it's a lot. Right. So I don't feel deprived. I actually feel more energized, more happy. So yeah, seeing the mucoid plaque come out, feeling the waist come out with abdominal massages. Some people like to do enemas. I haven't done them yet. Yeah. But there's just so many ways. And then we feel lighter and lighter and lighter. And that is the reward. It's just feeling, it's just more like myself again for the first time ever.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. And it's
like a child. I feel like a child again, super innocent. The first time the mucoid plaque came out, I started dancing and singing. That's just super freeing. Yeah. Really freeing. Excellent. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. I guess it's kind of like you said, because there's still a lot of fiber in juice. I think a lot of people get that wrong. You're still getting lots of fiber in juice. It's just the soluble type of fiber and not the insoluble type of dense fibers that you'd find in broccoli or fruits or anything, any natural food, right? You're going to get a lot of insoluble fiber, but you get a good concentration of soluble fiber, which is why you still get bowel movement and bowel activity on that juice cleanse, right? But without your body laboring with all that insoluble fiber, I guess you're freeing up a lot of energy to do what your body needs to, like you said, reach into the cells, pull out the little bits and fragments out of each cell, aggregate it and accumulate it in the bowel, and then shuttle it off for elimination. And then sure enough, you're drinking only juice, but then this, goddamn bog snake comes out and you're like, what the hell was that? Right? It's like, where did this come from? Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Very interesting. And now with all of this cleansing that you're doing, what would you say now? You just touched on it. You just touched a little bit on it, but I think a lot of people, this is good because you've gone through pretty much the whole shebang, right? And more, and you're still on it now. So people are going to really want to know from you, okay, Aline, what can I expect? I want to do this. Okay. I want to take my health to the next level. What can I generally expect to find on my juice cleanse journey? What are the landmarks, if there are any landmarks or milestones? What are the changes that you noticed over time, in order from the time you started till about now? Just a general overview of just the changes that you experienced and that you might expect if you were doing something like this for the first time.
Okay. So many different changes, on different levels. Like there was physical changes, emotional, and also social even changes that started happening, energetic changes, but also the physical. And again, this depends on where the person's coming from, with their health, because I can only speak for myself because I have been detoxifying for many years, doing these kinds of cleanses and juice cleanses. Usually it would be after a bad relapse, I would have like a few months of debauchery, but then I knew because I had been studying the detoxification. So it was almost like that's how my addictions work. They're like, you know how to detox. So it's okay. So I would go through these prolonged cleanses, but I feel like I've still been moving up. I've still been like advancing, even though, I've had setbacks. So definitely inflammation goes down, on a physical level, inflammation in the stomach, inflammation in the body, in the face, everything. There's going to be a weight loss. There's going to be, water waste coming out, fecal matter coming out. Different things can happen too, like breakouts. I've had some breakouts come out, detox symptoms, headaches. Sometimes I have a lot of energy, more than usual, and sometimes I'd be a little bit more tired. These are all normal and to be expected. I think we have to have a conversation about it because detoxing it's work, it's not like a walk in the park. Sometimes it's going to be challenging. Some emotions come up too, certain like past memories being relived, even traumas having to be dealt with and understood, unpacked, and journaled about, things that I had kind of repressed or even thought I dealt with. Yeah, a lot of emotional things can happen because when you take away eating, which is kind of like a comfort, then I don't know, we're kind of left more with ourselves and more with what's really going on. So I feel like the healing happens on that level too.
So basically what you're saying is it's not a walk in the park, right? Oh my God, you actually have to put some work in if you want the results. Oh no. Yeah, I know, right? Not what you guys want to hear. Oh, if you want the 50-inch calves, you might have to do some calf raises, right? Might not be comfortable, but that's what's required if you want big calves, I guess. Right? So anyway.
It takes work, but it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth it. I've come to understand that nothing easy will come to you, unless you work for it. Like there's so many layers of the damage that I've personally done to myself. Mm-hmm. So it's taken me years, and it has taken me years to get better, but I think it's worth it in the end. And it's not like it's a final destination. It's a journey, and I get to enjoy all the different stages of the journey. Yeah.
it's one of those things, guys. You have to remember that even though you go through a huge process like this, like Aline is saying, it is a journey, and all of your detoxing is not going to be accomplished in one thing. So when you do come to the end of something like this, don't imagine that it's over. You know, we want to believe that you live 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years eating and living in the same destructive way. And we think that like one 90-day juice cleanse is going to undo all of that damage over years and years and years. It's not how it works, guys. So as much as this will definitely bring you to a new place where you're on a much better footing, health-wise, that better footing is used as a foundation upon which to build further and further health developments. So you always have to remember that it's a lifestyle. It's a journey. Okay. But the steps along the way that you take are going to definitely result in amazing improvements in your life. And it's kind of hard to encapsulate everything that could happen to you with my experience only, with Aline's experience only. Right? There's this huge spectrum of things that could possibly happen, but maybe they'll happen to you on the cleanse, or maybe at a later day. You know, that you know, something that happened to Aline might not happen to you, but it'll happen some other time, or vice versa, right? So yeah, it's a journey, guys. It's a process, but holy smokes, is it ever worth it? As you're hearing, right? It's very much worth it.
Well, I wanted to add to what you were saying now, that it continues, and, you know, the journey. So maybe to add on to that, and also, you know, if we're going to do a juice cleanse like this, we have to preferably make lifelong changes afterwards. You know, one of my reasons for doing this was to become raw vegan and to absorb the nutrients better. Right. So at minimum, I don't know, I would really recommend to go plant-based, you know, even if you're having some cooked foods, but definitely like to remove all the mucus forming foods, you know, which are meat, dairy, even gluten, like highly processed foods. At least to go plant-based without those things will give you the chance to heal long term, and then maybe the raw will come later on. But like for me in my journey, it was really to get all the cooked foods out of my diet and to thrive on a plant-based raw diet. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, it's almost like you're going to create the damage all over again, even if you do a juice cleanse and then you go back to eating these mucus forming foods, like it's almost setting yourself up. So each time we do a juice cleanse, we want to upgrade and up level and take on the next stage in our our more regular eating habits. Correct. So I feel like I'm absorbing nutrients much more now, which is one of the benefits. You know, at the beginning I was needing much more juice. Now I'm like, you know, more full with a little bit less. Great. So I could see that my system is absorbing more.
Yeah, that's a good sign. Yeah, that's a really good sign. Needing, you know, having the same amount of energy, or even more, but with less, that's always a very, very, very good sign of how efficient your body is working. Right?
Yes.
What I was going to ask you, so a little bit of a wake up call for people who are wondering if this is something they need, because we've heard you talk about the things that you eliminated and all of the stuff that just comes out of you and all the changes that you've noticed. What was your diet beforehand, before going on this, that still resulted in all of these detox symptoms? Because sometimes, again, people don't know how destructive their diets are. So if you've witnessed all of this detoxing, can you give us just a really brief summary of what you were eating beforehand, so people can know, oh man, if I'm anywhere in this ballpark, then I might have some cleaning to do as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I, have always kind of considered myself to be pretty healthy. I thought I was really healthy.
Same.
High fruit diet, a lot of smoothies, a lot of vegetables, and the vegan pizza.
Yeah.
And the Beyond Meat burger, and a little bit of tofu here, and spicy Indian, cauliflower curry rice, naan bread there. So there were definitely some things in my diet that I know weren't the most high vibration and the best for my digestion. And I knew because I felt it right away. I would feel tired after. Plate of, fried plantain and, even brown rice and chickpeas, I thought was like a prime dinner, and it was perfect for my transition. It was perfect. It's perfect for a lot of people. I don't want to say like, oh, it's not, because compared to like a steak and fries, that's amazing. Like, go for it.
Right.
And for me, at some point, I just started feeling really tired after meals like that. I felt the difference when I would eat a fresh salad with, maybe some raw sprouted soaked seeds with some dressing. And then as opposed to when I ate cooked food. So that's just where I'm at with, the food. And I was almost like upset with it because I love those foods. I'm very attached to those foods. My family's Middle Eastern, so, we eat a lot of stuffed vine leaves and things like that, which, nobody would think like, oh, that's unhealthy. No, that's super healthy.
Yeah.
But,
exactly. Yeah. Everything that's what, this is so important. This is really something that I want to stress to the audience, because everything that you said there, there are people that are going to watch, that are going to be listening, and they're like, okay, yeah. That's awesome. That's a perfect diet. That's wonderful, right? But they just don't recognize, they don't realize that this normalization of cooked and adulterated food, enhanced with all sorts of stimulating spices and oils and whatnot. Yes, it's very stimulating to the senses, to your oral senses, but it's not food. It's not actual human food. It's just very stimulating edible matter. That's what it is. And you eat like that. You might think you're doing yourself a service, but then you actually go on a detox and you notice, oh my God, where is all of this garbage coming from, right? And it's because of what you ate. Mother Nature does not care whether you think it's healthy or not. She only responds to what actually is healthy. So yeah, fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. That's super valuable. Everything that you've given us today, I think is really valuable, because there are everyone wants health. Everyone wants health. I'm sure there's some exceptions out there, but generally everyone wants to take their bodies to, better and higher places. And juice cleansing is definitely one of the approaches that is going to help us get there. And amongst other things, amongst other types of detoxes and cleanses. But this is a very powerful tool, ladies and gentlemen, that you can use to really kickstart your regime and your journey on a better lifestyle, for not only for yourself, but for your family and for your kids and for everyone who has a connection with you, so that they can learn off of you. And it's just really important. And Aline, thank you so much for coming and giving me the time to share all of this with everyone, because I think we all need to hear it. Even people who are inveterate cleansers and whatnot. This is good reaffirmation, and just being saturated with this type of information. So. Yeah, and now, unless there are any, and just in the interest of time, I think that's good. I think we covered pretty much everything that we really needed to get across in sharing your story with us. If there's any other, just maybe tips that you'd like to convey, any kind of suggestions, anything that we didn't cover that you might want to give the audience, then feel free. Stage is yours, and then we can sign off.
Okay, sure. Yes, thanks once again for having me. This is a really beautiful experience to be able to share. I would definitely suggest going in different phases. If a juice cleanse is something that you want to do, there's different things that you can do to prepare for it. You know, maybe not jump into it from, you know, like full on,
Right.
like, you know, meat, dairy, bread, alcohol, lifestyle, and go like cold turkey into it, like kind of phase out, maybe start eliminating certain foods and then head into more of a plant-based lifestyle. I encourage superfoods as well as a way to alkalize the body.
Yeah.
I have used, you know, a gut repair and also some aminos and a power shake, like that are really, really powerful to get the body in a state that's more alkaline and more detox. Start cleansing the gut. Do a little parasite cleanse before. Yeah. So, I mean, I work for a superfood company and I believe 100% in the products because that's really what kind of launched me into my juice cleanse. And I felt it when I was doing the cleanse with the superfoods and eating healthy, more raw. And at some point I was just like, well, I don't need to eat anymore. Like I'm going to just go full. And now I recommend it to people and it really helps them kind of launch into the juice cleanse.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like a more plant-based diet. I don't want to say vegan because people get freaked out with that word, but more plant-based.
Plant-based, yeah. Yeah.
And then go gradually. Yeah, and get a support network. You know, Shane's community is really great. I have also an Ariel who has a YouTube channel called Unbaked, and she does like really easy raw vegan recipes. Just get connected to different people.
Yeah.
Reach out to me if you want to on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. Reach out to Eli. We're here and we're real people and we're down to earth and we just want to help, you know? So reach out.
Perfect. So if you're planning on starting anything like this, depending on where you are, you might not want to jump right into the juice cleanse. You might want to at least get your basics down pat, right? At least go to a human type of plant-based diet, right? At least get there and have some consistency with that. And then you can go to the next phase and the next level and the higher level from there on and there out. And the juice cleansing will come. So yeah, like everything, just take it in stride, take it in a proper progression that doesn't make too many jumps. And you should have a nice, smooth and easy transition into better modalities of health and wellness. Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you had mentioned something earlier when we were speaking in private. I don't know if you wanted to share that with everyone. You said people who aren't doing juice cleanses are losers. Something like that. Did you want to elaborate on? I'm kidding. She didn't say that.
You said you weren't going to put that in. I knew there was a catch to this video.
I had to put you on the spot somehow.
It was too good to be true.
No, I'm kidding. No. She definitely didn't say anything like that. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us here on the FreeMelon Society once again. Subscribe to the channel if you find that these videos are helpful to you, then definitely help us out. Subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Aline, thank you so much for joining me here once again. It was an honor to have you, and I think this was really helpful to everyone out there who's going to be listening.
Thank you so much, Eli. I really appreciate you, everything you do, and for inviting me here. And everybody, take care, and I hope to see you again soon.
Perfect. Thanks, Aline. No problem. And we'll see you soon. And everyone out there, have a good day. We'll see you next time. Take care, guys.